So thank you again, Kodi. Congratulations on such a wonderful film and such an amazing performance.
Thank
So
you.
your character is very, very complex, very, very mysterious. From the beginning, we can think we know his motivations when he explains how he will protect his mother at all cost.
Mm.
But then once Phil comes to scene, something changes. So how can you explain the ambiguity of Peter characters once he met Phil? How did you work that aspect of the character with Jane and with Benedict?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first I must say, I think the beauty of ambiguity in itself is to not contextualize it too much or to try and express it. But in terms of developing it and trying to convey the ambiguity, absolutely, it was a challenge that really attracted me to the role to play Peter.
Okay.
And I feel how that was done was through the masterful guidance of Jane Campion. She pushed me to explore new territory in terms of my character approach and development. And sometimes, well, all the time that can be hard. It's a challenge, but it's something that's necessary if you want to seek that reward. And yeah, so I guess I'm just grateful that I had that experience.
Thank you for that. So since another topic or theme of the film, among a lot of things that the film portrays, is how people like to judge others. While you were working on creating the approach to the character, did you tend to judge the character you were playing and how you work with that mindset?
Definitely. I feel when I'm reading a script, which is a very personal thing.
Exactly.
In the beginning, you are representing of somewhat of what the majority of the audience should be feeling when they're watching the movie. And the one thing that I experienced greatly was judging most of the characters, but obviously specifically Peter, in his naivete and possible weakness and delicacy in how he carries himself. And you feel somewhat of a sense of impending doom coming his way. But it's amazing to discover that it's really our perspective that dances around him, that tells the story of him. He doesn't necessarily have quite the transformation or the arc, but it's us that go on that journey with judgments of him.
That's one of the beauty of the character. Working with Jane Campion, you were mentioning how interesting is how she present different characters with different emotional layers. What do you think she get out of you with a specific scene that you thought you had it, and then you started talking to her about the scene, and then it was like, wow, it's a complete different thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think just overall, like we had 2 weeks of rehearsal process.
Okay.
Sometimes it was with the cast, and sometimes it was very intense, just one-on-one. And that's where we really mended out a lot of those ideas about, what did I individually think about the approach to my character,
Exactly.
and the collaboration happened there. And I guess I have to say that most of the time I was shocked with, where Jane wanted to go with Peter and how she was going to convey that message. And again, that's where the narrative of, being challenged comes into it. But yeah, I think a lot of it was worked out in those 2 weeks, and then we felt extremely comfortable and we're on the same page,
Excellent. So this is not the first time you work with a vast, extreme, incredible locations. We watched The Road, we watched Slow West. So how different was the experience this time working with this beautiful location, and how it impacted your character?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like location is always a character in and of itself. And so it's amazing to see how landscape can change in conveying a different message or a different essence, a different story. I was in a very similar area, literally maybe an hour away from where I had previously shot about 7 years ago, a movie called Slow West in New Zealand. And, it felt like a completely different experience, day and night, to where we were and how we shot Power of the Dog. And again, I think that's in the tone and in the momentum of the story itself. And I think it's amazing that art can do that. Yeah.
Well, my time's up. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
An excellent performance, an excellent film.